warm welcome once again to the World 8-Ball Pool Championships from the Stackis Hotel in Blackpool. The weather so far in Blackpool has been well variable. We've had a little bit of rain, but we're expecting a big tornado tonight. Luckily not in the form of the weather, but in the form of Jason Twist as he takes on Carl Morris in our last quarter-final. We've had some cracking pools so far. Let's take a look at how the quarter-finals panned out. World champion Rob McKenna, he went through 9-3 over Philip Grundy. Robert Brady fell to Keith Brewer, the England captain, 9-5. Lee Kendall, well, he wasn't playing very well, but he still beat Craig Reynolds 9-6. He's through to the semi-finals. But who will he play, Jason Twist or Carl Morris? Both these players know each other extremely well. They play in the England team together. Another man who knows them well is Alan Bartlett. He runs the UK tour for these pool players, and I would have thought these guys know each other's game inside and out, don't they?
Of course they do. They've played together for 2 or 3 years. But you've got a contrast in style tonight. You've got Jason, who's going to be going to finish the games off quickly. You've got Carl, who will not mind. If the games get drawn out, he'll be quite happy with that.
Obviously, Jason's the man in form. Everybody's saying it. Now, he got to the final of the last tournament. Is he on good form for the World Championships?
Yeah, sure, he's on good form and he wants to win. But Carl's a fighter, he's a battler, he'll not give in. And if Jason doesn't part and clear from the break, Carl will be in there fighting. And the last championship will have helped him out. He'll fancy his chances. He only lost 8-6 to Jason.
Carl Morris is one of these youngsters we've been talking about all week. And in fact, you know, this is his time, this is his stage. He's only 21, but he's got a great record. He really wants to prove himself, doesn't he?
We've got half a dozen players like Carl. Carl's come through over the last year. He had a superb year on the tour. He won the Player of the Year award. There's 4 or 5 others. Darren Appleton won the last competition on television. We've got a handful of them, and they're going to take it away from these older boys. They better get the title now. All
right, well, let's take a look at our last 2 quarter-finalists then, about to come up, starting with Jason Twist. Known as the Tornado, this man may be 30 years old, but he's got a great pedigree, and he's desperate to win this World Championship. We've mentioned the fact that he was in the final of the last tournament, and he desperately wants to win this one. His opponent tonight is only 21 years old, but as Alan says, he's got a great record, and you can see it right there. This man is on fire. I've never seen a man more excited about playing in a quarter-final than Carl Morris. Well, I did get a chance to speak to both these men before the start of the match. Jason Twist, as I said, we heard earlier, has been playing against Carl Morris in the last tournament. This is what he had to say about that.
That's right, in the quarter-final, yeah. I beat him 8-6. It was a great game. I played really well. I could have won a little bit easier, I felt, but through a few frames away. I'm hoping to have another match like that again if I can.
And we hope there's another match like that. Carl Morris, well, he's been here before and he may be only 21, but he's extremely confident, and it seems his confidence grows as he gets towards the final.
The one thing about World Championships, it seemed to bring out the best in me. I don't seem to be able to play the same pool in other competitions as I do here. As for being nervous, I don't think I'm nervous. I will be a little bit when I go out, but once I get into the game, I'll be okay. But I've been here last year, so I've got a year's experience behind me. Looking forward to a match, a bigger game.
Should be a good game, and if you haven't watched Carl Morris play before, it's interesting, Alan. He plays with a hearing impairment, but it doesn't seem to bug him at all, does it?
No, not at all. When he was 2 years old, he got meningitis, and he battled through that. He almost lost his life. But he's got a hearing aid, and he can hear as well as me or you, but he chooses not to wear it. He doesn't want the disturbance. He leaves it off for the matches. Indeed, he only puts it on to listen to music, I think.
Well, he wants to concentrate tonight. It's a big match for him in the quarterfinals. It's our last quarterfinals. The semi-finals are all but made. Let's see who goes through, Jason Twist or Carl Morris. Let's go down to the floor now with your MC, Alan Hughes.
Thank you, Jonathan. Ladies and gentlemen, the man in charge of the match is Marshall Mortar, and the match this evening is between an up-and-coming young star, an England international who was last year's Player of the Year after some tremendous performances, winning a UK tour event along the way, and his opponent, a seasoned international and professional who is a former Embassy World finalist, strongly fancied by many to lift the title, and he comes to Blackpool direct from a final appearance in the Stackis International Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome together Carl Houdini Morris and the Tornado himself, Jason Twist.
So Houdini meets the Tornado. Jason Twist breaking off here to open accounts. Frame number 1 in a possible 17. This our last quarterfinal. Nothing down for Jason Twist, so we see Carl Morris for the first time here in this 1998 Embassy World Pool Championship. And a fine young talent he is. Player of the year. Gave Jason quite a tussle the last time these two met in a major event, going down 8-6 as was previously stated, but it has to be said, with an 8-6 scoreline, one frame going either way, who's to say you might not have had a different winner. Open table right now as Carl looks at the red onto the yellow plant to the center pocket. Well, very unfortunate. The double kiss sees the white in off into the corner pocket. Just to let our viewers at home know that Carl Morris isn't all that healthy. I spoke to his father earlier, as we see once again the unfortunate in-off. So he's going to be battling a little bit more than Jason Twist. A little under the weather. He's running a bit of a temperature. Flu-like symptoms, I'm told.
Yellow ball's in play.
The winner of this last quarterfinal will make up the opposition for Lee Kendall, the Fox himself. And it just so happens that the Fox has made his way to the commentary booth here to join me and give his views on how this quarterfinal is going to unfold. Lee, very nice to see you here, and obviously there may not be a more interested spectator in the crowd or in the booth.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jim. Yeah, I expect this to be a very close match tonight. I think Jason may edge it, but we'll have to see. I think Carl's a little bit under the weather, as Jim just alluded to. Jason still carrying two shots here. I think he'll just dribble one to the middle pocket.
These early frames can prove very big in the overall tally. In their first three quarterfinals, two of the players to win the opening frame have gone on to win the match. Those being Keith Brewer and yourself, Lee. The only loser of the opening frame, Rob McKenna.
Yeah, it's always nice to get off to a good start. I mean, if Jason takes this first frame, he might get his arm going. And I fancy him to try to clear these up now, carrying the two shots.
Beautifully played. And looks like there's room for the yellow to the right center. May not need his second visit. What a terrific shot that was.
Yeah, what a fantastic shot. Jason will be pleased to get this frame under his belt. Yeah, it's all the way. It's 1-0 to Jason.
Eight ball down, the first frame gone. Jason Twist has opened it up here with an emphatic victory in frame one of a possible 17. It's our last quarterfinal, and Carl Morris trails Jason Twist by 1 frame to 0. Well, Lee, a very confident performance. The last yellow into the center pocket. He didn't have full pockets into a lot of these that he played the yellow balls into. No problem for Jason.
No, Jason will be very pleased with that first frame. He's got his arm going now. And he's such a good cue player. He originally started playing snooker at the age of 16. And his highest break is 142, so the 8-foot will have no problem for this chap.
Second frame.
Houdini Morris.
Trailing 1 frame to 0.
Going to be breaking off here, frame 2. He's going to want to stay nice and close to Jason, keep the pressure on him. Obviously, slight underdog in many people's minds. But right now, he's having a lot of trouble keeping that cue ball on the table.
Yeah, it's not a very good start for Carl.
1 visit, open table.
Jason's left with 1 visit, but he's got the choice of balls again.
Another look at the break off, Lee. It's a huge weapon when you've got it clicking.
Yeah, and look how well he spread the balls as well, Jim. He's got a few problems though. There's a yellow over the left-hand pocket and a red over the right-hand pocket. Whichever suit he chooses, he's going to have to move one of them.
30 seconds.
Also interesting, the position of all the colors, the bulk of them in the top half of the table.
Yeah, it was a good firm break by Carl, but he just didn't control that cue ball. Yes, he's elected to pop the yellow and stun across to the side rail and leave the yellow to play it in off the red in the top right-hand pocket.
Once again, wiping its feet before it disappeared. Very important shot here already for Jason. He's got to clip the red to free the pocket.
Oh,
borrowed a bit too much, Lee.
He did move on the shot though, Jim.
Red balls to play.
Usually a sign of nerves.
Yeah, and Cole's got to take advantage of this. If he's going to do anything in this match, he's got to take his chances.
Reds in play for Carl Morris. It remains to be seen as he goes about it here if this red will pass. And obviously that was the danger one for him. Now it should be clear sailing.
Yeah, it's just a matter of composing himself now. He's clearing the two top reds. He'll probably stun down the table to play for the bottom two reds and leave the red in the centre to the last.
How many shots would a seasoned player like yourself think ahead, Lee?
Well, first of all, the most important ball you have to look for is the ball to get on the black. So it's just a matter of picking your way through the balls and leaving that ball till last. So really, you are thinking 6, 7 shots in advance. He's not felt too good there, though he's in the middle of the two balls.
Once again, many interested spectators taking in the spectacle here. The 8 into either the center or the top right pocket as we look. Beautifully played. Carl Morris has squared it up here with Jason Twist. 1 frame apiece now in this best of 17 quarterfinal encounter.
Third frame, Jason Twist to break, 1 frame all.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Stackis Hotel for the 1998 Embassy World 8-Ball Pool Championships. As Jason Twist saw yellow into the side pocket here, he's at the table with choice of colors, red or yellow.
Yellow balls in play.
30 seconds.
I think he's going to try and cover the bottom pocket here, the bottom right-hand pocket. I don't think Jason wanted that one to go because he's got a ball tied up at the top of the table, which is going to be very hard to get onto.
Yes, another look at it. Would have been just as happy to see that yellow stay on the surface and guard that pocket. As you said, Lee, as we see some of the French contingent here looking on, the all-important singles matches. That yellow at the top of the table is cause for concern for Jason.
I do feel Jason's going for a finish, which is very hard to do. And he's going to have to leave it till his last ball, and even if he could move the ball, he isn't guaranteed to be on it.
Well, Carl appears very anxious in his chair. Can hardly wait to get back to the table.
Yes, Carl knew how big a shot that was. If he didn't get the split, he knew he was coming back out of his seat. Look, he's preparing himself now for his next opportunity.
Sweaty palm time for Morris. And that in-off could spell a 2-1 deficit for Jason Twist. 2 visits now to the incoming player, Carl Morris.
Yes, he was very unlucky to go off, but he had no shot on just to break the yellow out. And Carl will be very happy to come to the table with 2 visits.
And he's going to want to try and save these 2 visits. The 2 reds at the bottom half of the table as we look pose a slight problem for Carl, but given the fact that he's got 2 visits, he might want to hold it to develop those 2.
Yeah, Carl shouldn't have any problems here. He's the sort of player that doesn't mind running into balls, so I'm confident that he'll get a good split. Yes, it's come out nice for him. A very good shot, that one.
A little closer to his work, Lee, than he might have liked.
Yeah, not quite far enough, was it, Jim? Looks about perfect.
There's the defending champion McKenna safely through to the semifinals. He'll be opposing Keith Brewer in a semifinal clash that's going to have everybody chomping at the bit. But right now, the man of the moment, Carl Morris. The 8's down. He dropped the opener, but he's come on to win the next 2 now and leads Jason Twist in this race to 9, 2 frames to 1. Well, Carl Morris, if he's under the weather, he might want to be under the weather in the future. Last red to 8 here. And obviously, Carl Morris really looking full value for the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, that 2-1 lead was afforded to him by the really a tough finish, which he shouldn't have taken on, Jason. I don't think Carl would have took that finish on.
Yes, possibly. Nerves can manifest itself in different ways. Sometimes the cue arm goes, other times you don't think properly.
Yeah, Jason just wants to get the balls down the pockets, and he isn't that isn't that good a tactical player. His potting normally does the work for him.
4th frame, Carl Morris to break, leading 2 frames to 1.
Breaking off now with a 1-frame lead, the narrowest of margins in front is Carl Morris.
Open table.
Well, this really is an inviting situation. Nothing into the pockets, reds and yellows all in the open. Another look at this break. Had something found its way to a pocket here, he'd have been in a glorious position.
Yeah, but as it happened, he's left Jason with a good chance here if he takes a yellow and runs down to the bottom cushion.
Yellow ball's in play.
Well, he's elected just to roll it in and stay for the balls in the middle of the table. He's going to have to come down sometime for that ball, though, at the bottom of the table.
But you can see the position of the remaining yellows. Nicely spaced. And you just know that Jason Twist is going to be eager to make amends.
Yes, he did try to come down for that yellow then. He just had a little fleck off the red, and he's going to have to take the middle ball now and probably leave that ball till last. The yellow passes into the black pocket there.
Now, Lee, both you and Jason are part of the England team. You know each other's games very well. Is it a little bit tougher sometimes when you're up against a friend and a countryman at that?
It is, yes. I'd sooner play someone that I don't really know too well, because you can get more involved in the match. If you're playing a friend, it's more of a case of you don't want to get too excited because he is a friend and you can't really dislike him. You just want to win the match and go through to the next round.
Again, Carl Morris, an anxious look. Jason finishing a little closer to his work than he would have liked there. He's made this shot a lot more difficult than it well could have been.
Oh, it's a great pot. He's had no luck at all. He's at the red at the top of the table.
Good news, bad news story. Terrific pot. Certainly one for the highlight reel. Unfortunately for him, he's not finished on the 8-ball over the center pocket.
He's still got a chance of potting it with it being near the pocket, though. Off the back cushion and just drop it into the center.
Brilliant shot from Jason Twist. Clutching victory from the jaws of defeat. He's now tied it up here. Well, what a shot. 2 frames apiece. Jason Twist versus Carl Morris in a best-of-17 quarterfinal. And what a stunning finish that was. You could shoot this shot 10 times and not hit it that sweet again.
No, it was a tremendous shot. Good use of the angles there. He does know his angles well, Jason. These cushions are all sliding, so he did very well to judge this shot.
Couldn't have struck it better. Tremendous way to finish a frame.
5th frame, Jason Twist to break, 2 frames all.
Well, this is really heating up into one that's going to be a memorable battle.
No balls again, Jim.
Open table.
This time the advantage falls to Carl. And after jumped out of his seat, assuming he was going to have a shot in the preceding frame.
I don't know if you can get through to that yellow, Jim. It's very tight. You might have to play with a little bit of side.
Seconds.
Very tight.
No matter how you look at it.
He's going to just snooker in behind the black on the yellow ball. He knows that the yellows are the boss balls, so he doesn't really want to leave Jason on the yellow balls. It's sooner him take the pot on the red.
The sound thinking from such a young player.
Yeah, Carl is a very good tactical player. If this match was played on a 7-foot table, my money would be definitely on Carl. I just think that the bigger table will help Jason.
Seconds.
Again, a stop shot, and right where the cue ball was struck.
He's played it again.
Open table.
Couldn't catch the rabbit that time. Table's still open, so you know Carl Morris is going to be electing yellows here. The reason being the yellow over the top left pocket.
Seconds.
Used all of the pocket there.
In play.
Certainly wiped his feet, didn't it, Jim?
Bridge is somewhat unorthodox on the side. doesn't loop over the cue with the forefinger as most players do. When we get another look at a shot like that, we'll have a look at Carl Morris's bridge.
Yes, he's taking the yellow. No, he's taking the plant. It's not a definite shot, this one.
Not sure of his choice there, Lee, and I see you shaking your head.
No, he should have taken the ball over the pocket and come round off the back cushion and side cushion.
Yes, he was leaving it to chance where that other yellow was going to finish.
And he's going to struggle to clear up now, Jim. See, Carl, he doesn't mind running into balls. He's the only player on the circuit that will play to cannon into balls. A lot of the players just play into areas. And you can't keep doing it. Percentages always go against you. You could take it into the top pocket and split it out. I think that's what he's trying, off one cushion. Very difficult shot.
Red balls to play.
He's turned it right over now to Jason because he has feathered the yellow into the open, and in so doing he's dislodged the red. Another look at it, the missed pot here, but the damage really in opening that yellow and red. Top left as we look.
It's a good opening pot. I don't know why Jason tried to split that ball off. I would have just played to just drop onto the rail. Just making a little bit more work for himself. The yellow at the top left is blocking the other red into the pocket. So he's going to have to take him into the other pocket, the top right-hand pocket.
There's the shot again, Lee. Looked like he was trying to move that red.
Yeah, he should just play to get on it. Just drop to the rail.
This is the big shot, and this the fifth frame right now.
It's all the way. Red to the top left, and probably stun the white to take the red into the middle.
That looks perfect. A nice angle to bring the cue ball down the right side of the table for the 8 to the bottom left.
Oh, wiped his feet again, Jim. Jason can smile. It's dropped. I don't know how.
Twist has weathered the storm. He lost the last 2 frames to Carl Morris, and now he's won the last 2. He leads 3-2 in this best of 17 quarterfinal. Welcome again to the televised stages here at the Stackus Hotel in Blackpool for the Embassy Whirlpool Championships of 1998.
Trading 3 frames for 2.
So Carl Morris is going to be breaking off here. Frame 6. Well, we've seen that storyline before.
Yeah, his brake's not working tonight.
Overtime.
He didn't even hit the front ball then. I think he hit the side of the pack. Yes, he hit the second ball down.
Obviously trying to change his fortune. Unsuccessfully.
But yet again, the balls are not easy. I do feel he'll choose the red balls.
30 seconds.
Red ball's in play.
Jason, once a beaten finalist in this Embassy Whirlpool Championship. He'd love to go one better this year. Hoist the trophy above his head.
Yes, Jason's told me if he wins this match, all his family and friends are coming up to support him. I don't know if I'm too happy about that, because I'll be the one that'll be playing him. That looks to be perfect.
Well, the problem ball, obviously, the one nearest the right middle pocket. Certainly looks like it presents problems from here.
Yeah, I do think it squeezes past the yellow into the bottom right.
Thirty seconds.
Yet again, cannoning the balls, you can't guarantee where they're going to land.
There you can see, Lee, the red that we were talking about, and you suggested that it just passes, and it looks like it might just pass at that.
Yes, but Jason's created himself another problem. He's put the red by the black now. Looks like it goes.
30 seconds.
Another chance for Cole.
Yellow ball's in play.
Well, the miss from Jason Twist, and right now neither player appearing to take the reins here and let the horse run.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy shot into the middle pocket, but I still fancy Jason to take it though. Will Cole try and cover the pocket? Yes, he's dropped it in front of the red. He's played a very good shot. He's blocked the passage of the red just to contain it so he can get the first opportunity at the finish.
You said he had a very good tactical brain for this game.
Yeah, Jason's tried to cover the pocket there and it's dropped in. Now does the red go down the rail and break free of the yellow? It looks very tight to me. He hasn't got the pocket though, Jim.
Another look at it. Just needed that red to travel a fraction further, and it would have been mission accomplished.
I do think the yellow passes, and there we see it. Off the rail, off the ball and in. I think the red will go up and free the other red away for the yellow to pass down into that pocket. Excellent shot.
Carl Morris took out the tournament #2 seed Daz Ward in the last 32, an 8-1 scoreline. So a very comfortable win over a very good player. In fact, he beat Rick Flood from Australia by the same scoreline leading up to this quarterfinal. So he really hasn't been pushed in the last two matches.
Yeah, the only test that he's had so far was in the first round of qualifying, where he was 6-3 down and then scraped through 7-6. He had very good character to hold himself together and come through that match.
Well, every time the tornado threatens to blow out of sight, Carl Morris equal to the task. 3 frames apiece now and all to play for in this race to 9. Carl Morris proving to be a bulldog.
Yes, Cole saying, I'm still in this match, Jason. I'm going to fight it all the way.
Well, everyone said that he was a battler with a never-die attitude, and he's certainly displaying that here.
Yeah, he did hit that black a little bit too hard, though. I wouldn't have been happy if it had jumped out.
So Carl Morris at 3 frames apiece, looking pretty content. Well, Carl's father is actually the England team manager this year.
Yes, Jim Morris. Cole was actually in the team before Jim was manager, so there's no favouritism at all. Cole's doing it all on merit, and Jim's a very good manager and he's a nice chap as well. And that's my plug to stay in the team, Jim.
Well, I've got a hunch the way you play, Lee, you don't need many plugs.
Thanks for that, Jim.
Come on, Carl. Open time. Come on.
This event has certainly proven to be one of your mainstays. You always perform very well here.
Yeah, I always practice hard for this event. I don't practice as much as I should do for other events, but this one I really train hard for.
Without a doubt, the premier event, one that all the players really get themselves geared up for. This Embassy World title is one to be coveted.
Red ball's in play.
I spoke to Carl earlier and I said, Carl, how much have you practiced for this match? And he said, I haven't practiced much at all running up to the tournament, which has really surprised me because Carl is such a fighter. I thought he'd be keyed up for the tournament. The yellow just passes the red. But that's not Jason's only problem. He's got the yellow on the left-hand side rail.
Yes, Lee, there is, looks like just room for that yellow to squeeze by if he does elect to take it.
It's very tight, though. I'm surprised Jason didn't hit that shot a lot harder to try and free the red from the pocket. Because he hasn't got an easy finish on, and should he not take the finish out, Carl's got his ball sitting pretty.
Well, certainly as the balls lie right now, Carl Morris in complete control of the bottom half, with reds beautifully placed over the bottom corner pockets.
That's a great shot by Carl. Very awkward cueing, he's very close to that red ball. Will Carl elect to cover the pocket though? I do feel the right shot is to cover the pocket, but looks like he's going for game.
Well, he too has one of his chosen colors.
It's a tough shot into the middle to split the other red out.
That's what I was just about to say, Lee. He's got one that's very awkwardly placed, and he tried to develop it right there.
Yeah, he possibly got a 3-ball plant on here.
Another look at it, a little unlucky. But as you said, we're looking at a red onto the yellow, onto the red.
It's just a question of where the other red goes. Excellent shot. It looks very composed, Jim.
And this is really some finish, Lee.
Yeah. I would have personally covered the pockets, but it just goes to show what I know about the game, Jim. He's growing in confidence now, though.
It's there, and Carl Morris enjoys his second lead of the match. He led at 2 frames to 1, and now sees a 4-3 lead his side of the score line. Still early days, but as you said, he's looking very confident.
Yeah, he's doing very well. His first Embassy quarter-final, second time on television. He's certainly playing very composed.
If he's looking under the weather, he certainly doesn't show it.
Yes, he's certainly sorting the twister out at the moment.
8th frame, Carl Morris to break, leading 4 frames to 3.
Breaking off Carl Morris, the odd frame in front. Looking to just increase that margin.
Nearly went an off again, Jim.
More importantly, though, he saw a ball into the pocket.
And look at the reds. This is a big frame in the match. If he can open a 2-frame lead going into the second half of the match, Jason's got his hands full.
Yes, neither player has enjoyed a 2-frame cushion yet. And you might not get a better chance than Carl Morris sees right now.
Oh, he took his eye off the ball.
A little careless. He shot that a little quicker, too. I noticed his rhythm pick up a bit. Didn't take as good a look and give that shot as much respect as it was due.
It wasn't an easy shot, but yet I still expected him to get it.
These players, they do talk to the crowd quite often. We've seen that from Jason there. Carl Morris just having a little chat, acknowledging the fact that he was careless, because that's his dad, sat just to the left in the yellow shirt.
Well, he'll try and get back on the next yellow. And there's the England manager, Jim Morris, looking how his son's going on. But like I said, he's got this yellow and try and screw back for the other yellow. It's a makeable shot, but it certainly isn't easy. It looks like he's been fortunate, Jim.
Super result, that one. Finished on the yellow right beside the black. Good pot. Fully deserving of a nice touch on the red. This has opened the door here.
Yes, it's a yellow into the bottom left-hand pocket, then the yellow into the middle, then it'll just roll the yellow down the rail and take the black into the center pocket. He's not perfect on it. The white's going to run away a little.
Just into the right-hand side of the middle pocket to try and keep the white as close to the left side as he can. This is the shot.
It's oh, he's landed right on top of the black. That's just because he was a little bit careless. The third yellow from home. All he had to do was screw back a little bit and he just let it to run through, and it was at the wrong angle on the yellow.
And it might well prove very costly unless he can manufacture something here.
The only shot I can see, Jim, is off one rail into the centre pocket. But it's very difficult.
30 seconds.
He's got it. Oh! Tremendous effort.
And the crowd applauding that effort from Jason Twist. Unfortunately for him, as we have one more look at just how close he was to victory here. That could well prove his undoing.
It's a big finish, this one, for Carl, to open a 2-frame lead.
Along with the prestige of this event, these players obviously looking for a nice little payday as well.
Yes, there's £750 on this match, Jim. But somehow I don't think the players will be thinking about the money, they'll just be interested in the title.
Well, the loser here guaranteed £1,000, but the winner will have their eyes firmly placed on that winner's check of £7,500. That going to the eventual Embassy World Champion. Staying online for that little payday, obviously a priority. And Carl Morris deposits the 8 into the middle and opens up a 2-frame lead. He now leads Jason Twist in this, our last quarterfinal, in a race to 9 by 5 frames to 3. Let's rejoin Jonathan in the studio.
Thank you, Jim. And we've just been talking here in the studio. Alan, contrasting styles, as you said at the top of the game, but well, Carl just hasn't put a foot wrong, has he?
It's been a fantastic match. The first frame, Carl had the first opportunity, went in off. We thought he's looking nervous. Second frame, he's unlucky, he went in off the break. But apart from that, he's made no mistake. Jason's gone for some finishes he shouldn't have gone for, should have moved balls earlier. He's potted the black in the middle off the top cushion when it looked like he was going to go 3-1 behind to keep it tight. But Carl has just been faultless since then, and for me, he's played as well, if not better than anybody in the competition during the quarterfinals.
His positional play, as you mentioned, has been excellent. Do you think perhaps Jason needs to slow down his game? I know it's not his style, but he seems to be not rushing shots, but playing perhaps a little too quickly for the way that Carl's going to, you know, punish him if he gets it wrong.
I don't think he plays the shots too quickly. He just goes for the finish when he should wait for another chance the next time around. Whereas Carl, if he has to play a safety, he plays one. If the balls are there, he's still gone for them. He hasn't been afraid. He's just been faultless. He's been superb.
Well, it's beautifully poised at the moment. A place in the semi-finals to be decided. It's the last one. Will it be Carl Morris or Jason Twist? We'll take a short break and find out.
Well, Jason Twist's task very clear now. From 3 frames to 2 in front, he's proceeded to drop 3 in a row and now finds himself the wrong end of a 5-3 scoreline. He's had a little break, a chance to compose himself.
And yet again, we see the white go into the pocket, Jim.
One visit.
Well, you can see him grimacing and smiling and showing just about every emotion you want to see, but either way, he won't be happy when he saw that white disappear off the bed of the table.
Yes, he was very unfortunate because the white wasn't going into the pocket, it got kissed into the pocket. And both balls are very open.
Down to Carl Morris to decide which. And then you know he'll be attacking from this position.
30 seconds.
No need to have to try and bring a tactical ploy into this frame, that's for certain.
Red ball's in play.
Yes, Carl's looking at stunning the red into the middle pocket, holding for the top right red. It looks about perfect. You'll screw back, roll the red into the middle, and possibly screw the red down the rail. or play the other red and screw back to the rail.
Good shot, this one from Carl Morris. Awkward bridging over the yellows, you can see. Choice of reds. And the 8 in the center of the table.
I think he'll take the one down the rail. No, he's screwing back to the rail.
Had to pinch the pocket a little bit there.
Yeah. Nice angle on the red, though.
Good confident pot. And the simple 8. And Carl Morris will be enjoying a 3-frame advantage. The score line now reads 6 frames to 3. Morris in front of Twist. The winner needs to get to 9, and Morris has doubled up on his opponent here.
10th frame, Carl Morris to break, leading 6 frames to 3.
Good, powerful break.
Yellow ball bottom.
Well, you saw a little Buddy English just at the end of this break, as you have another look at it. Total disbursements, or disbursement of reds and yellows. But the cue just slightly nudging. He wanted the yellow and the red at the top end of the table as we look there, just to separate.
Yellow ball's in play.
Yes, I think he's just going to drop it over the top pocket.
30 seconds.
He's played it very well.
He's got quite a weaponry. A very sound potter, exceptional positional play, great attitude. And when called into action, he's got quite a mind for the game as well.
Yes, he's really giving Jason a lesson at the moment. And he's got the boss balls again in this match.
30 seconds.
Unless Jason can pull out some good shots here, he's looking like he could be 7-3 down.
Kind of a nothing shot, Lee. If he wanted to cover the pocket, he didn't accomplish that. If he wanted to pot it, he was miles away.
Yeah, I think Jason's just feeling it a little bit at the moment.
Another look at it, if for no other reason, just to show that absolutely nothing was accomplished by that visit.
Yes, for somebody of his age, he's showing great experience here, making Jason do all the fighting, and he's just closing the game down. I can't see a shot that Jason can play. He's trying to cover the red over here.
30 seconds.
No.
2 visits and nothing accomplished. Very soon you're going to see Carl Morris with the wind at his back sail through this one.
Yes, I'm sure that Carl's soon going to be pulling the rope in.
Just spotted a little loose debris on the table. Referee Marshall Mortar called into action. Doesn't happen often, but when requested, they're there. You saw the referee just touch the table there, Lee.
Yes.
The reason that he that he does that is because Carl Morris is deaf, and that's how he gets a 30-second warning. The referee will just tap the table, and that lets Carl know that he's got 30 seconds with which to play his next shot.
He's looking like he is going to take the finish on.
He's in
There's the 30 seconds, and there's the referee just touching the table to acknowledge that. Right on cue.
Yes, Carl's in so much control here, he doesn't have to go for the finish.
Not cleanly in, but in nevertheless.
A good shot and a good result.
Couldn't really have worked out much better. Knew that he had the yellow over the top pocket. That was his out shot.
Yeah, he isn't afraid to take the balls on. The good part about Carl, he's not frightened of the balls being bad for him. He'll take his chances when they're there. And it's looking very much like 7-3.
Just needs to drop this in off the side cushion, and Jason Twist will find himself 4 frames in arrears. This 8, a formality for Carl Morris. That's 5 frames in a row. He's now won.
11th frame. Jason Twist to break, trailing 7 frames to 3.
It's just not happening right now for Jason Twist
Open table.
in any department, and he knows it.
And just look at those yellows, Jim.
Yes, another look at the break here. I thought he might have a little frustration in that break, but he kept himself composed and tried to keep the cue ball on the table.
He's let that one get away, Jim. It's done him a favour that it hasn't gone, because he was out of position.
Just slightly overcut.
But every time Jason comes to the table, he's not left with an easy chance. He's got to dig deep. He's got one tied up just by the middle pocket.
30 seconds.
On the side rail, the red. He's going to send the red down the rail and try and cover the bottom pocket.
Not touching cushion.
Well, he ensured that that didn't go in, and if anything else, another look at it. And I'm not sure whether or not it's blocked the pocket here at all, Lee. Certainly the one yellow will pass.
Yeah, but it still hasn't taken control. Cole can just push the red out of the way.
You can drive a truck through that opening.
30 seconds.
The problem is the other yellow, Jim. Even if he pots the top yellow, he's got to get onto the other yellow, which it looks like it's blocked into both pockets. So I do feel a safety shot will be coming up soon. Just brings another yellow into play.
Come on, Carl.
Yeah, Jason's not played a good shot again there. He didn't know what to do. He's just played the red down. Well, I think Carl will just cover the pocket. It's a bad shot by Carl. He could have just rolled the other yellow down and secured the pocket. He took a risk and tried to bump the red away. Gives Jason that little bit of time. See, Jason will probably just cut this red over the pocket. Then Carl's got to move the yellows away from that pocket. He's done the job, Jim. Block the path.
Well, he did it in one visit. Cleared both yellows from the corner pocket.
Yes, and Carl still got the advantage.
Another look at it. Useful.
Yes, it was a clever little shot, bringing both yellows into play, putting even more pressure on Jason Twist.
And there's a former world champion, front and center, Daz Ward there. He was the #2 seed in this tournament, eliminated by Carl Morris.
Yes, I spoke to Daz about that match. 8 frames to 1. He said he hardly had a shot. He says he was never in the match. Carl played some superb pool.
But in all fairness, you English fellows, you're pretty good buddies, every one of you. You support each other.
Yes, we're all friends. It's very odd to shout to for any of us. So if you notice the England players which are in the room tonight, nobody's shouting for anybody. They just want a good match and may the best man win. But as you alluded to, Daz is in Jason's corner. They are very good friends. But although Daz has not played in this World Championships, he's still a member of the England team, a class player, previous world champion. I'm sure he'll be fighting for his place next year.
Jason develops one of the reds that presented difficulty. He's still got one on the right-hand cushion.
Yes, the shot here, Jim, is to roll the yellow up to the top right-hand pocket. Once he secures that pocket, the game is closed out.
Doesn't want it to go in. You saw the look of disgust. Did not intend the pot there, but he's got another chance to accomplish what he wanted to.
Yes, not a bad angle for the shot he's got to play. Can just roll this up to the pocket. It's a good shot. Not quite hard enough. Frightened of potting it again. But Jason's got a bad red on the side rail, bottom right-hand corner. Is he trying to move it now, or is he going to screw out and play the other red past it? Yes, he's screwed it. He's going to play the red past the yellow to free it from the cushion, so the red passes down the rail.
Got to be careful with this. Has to be judged very precisely. We saw him miss one like this earlier. And there you go. He potted the red, but he didn't clear the pocket.
Yes, did you see the movement in his cue action though, Jim? He is under pressure. He's got a possible double on.
That's Stéphane Jean, one of the French contingent that's over here playing in these World Championships. He represented France in the World Teams. A number of them have stayed over to watch the singles.
Yes, they're getting better every year, the French team. They didn't make the final this year, but I'm sure they'll be back again next year trying to lift that World Team title.
30 seconds.
Yes, Jason was a little bit lucky there. When he tried the double, the whites landed a little bit awkward. And he's just asking a little question of Cole. You've got to bridge over this ball, off the cushion, and flip the yellow end. He's still got one awkward ball though, Jim, up by the two reds at the top of the table. And yet again he's elected to run into him. The yellows come out. Another great opportunity for Carl Morris.
Yes, every time he's elected to leave it to chance and play an aggressive shot, it's worked out for him. Right now, that's been the story of this match. Well, he's got the long yellow. And all he wants to do is leave the cue ball near the center of the table to leave the yellow to the pocket that he's standing nearest now. First chink in his armor. First sign of nerves, and really one of the first mistakes that we've seen from Carl Morris in quite some time.
Yes, Jason must take this finish out. He's not played a good shot again. He's landed on top of the red. Jason is under tremendous amount of pressure. And he's putting a lot of it on himself.
Played that with a lot of right-hand side.
Big shot coming up, Jim.
Well, when you get a mistake like that from Carl Morris, you've got to take advantage, and he needs this to do that.
Tremendous shot.
Well, why he has drawn into the yellow there, it looked like he could have played top and come straight back out the middle of the table, Lee. I just don't understand the way that he played that shot.
I think he tried to run behind the back of the ball, but like you say, Jim, I don't know what's going through Jason's mind at the moment.
Cannot overstate the importance of this shot.
30 seconds.
Oh, a tremendous pot from Jason Twist. He made his job as hard as he possibly could, still escaped the trap. Pulled one back, it's 7 frames to 4.
7-4 now. 8-3 the match would have been over. Couldn't see him coming back from 8-3, but 7-4 he's got a chance.
Carl Morris to break here, frame 12.
Come on, Carl. Red ball potted.
Red down. Both reds and yellows. Quite nicely situated right now, Lee.
Yes, good firm break. It's not an easy finish Cole's presented, but how he's been playing, you'd fancy him to get him. I think he'll go yellow balls.
Yellow balls nominated.
There we have it.
30 seconds.
Yellow balls in play.
He's overcut it.
Red ball's in play.
Has Cole seen the winning line?
Come on, Cole.
Tough pot, that one for Jason.
Long missed attempt at the red, and he's left the long yellow for Carl Morris.
Yes, he's got one awkward ball, Jim. The one in the bottom left-hand corner, just hidden behind the red. It will go in the bottom right, but he must get the white in the right position to do that. I think he's left too much of an angle on this ball, Jim. The white's running down the table. He may have to screw it out. And yet again we see Cole electing to split a ball out than play on it. I don't think he's landed this time.
No, he most certainly hasn't. I expected that to have a little bit of side, come back the left-hand side of that yellow as we look, and would have been ideally situated to play it into the bottom right corner. Now, you can't see enough to snick it into the left center. The only option really
30 seconds.
looks to be the yellow he's just queued up to.
Very hard shot he's left with now. So either got a cut to the centre or a cut to the bottom right. Top right. Very difficult shot. I'll bring the house down if he gets this one. Not quite.
Little adventurous, I feel, that shot. Easy to say in hindsight, but he's starting to ask a little bit more than readily presents itself. And Jason Twist is not the sort of player you want to give second life to.
A couple of frames ago you couldn't see Jason winning this match. Cole's just giving him a chance after chance. He can't keep giving him these chances, he's got to start taking them. The reason why Cole's winning this match is because he's taken his chances and he's not done anything silly.
Jason Twist will be looking to clear up these last 4 reds and 8 ball. I think Jason knows that this is a chance to wrest the momentum away from Carl Morris. He's got the inside half of the pocket here, you can see. And now, the 8 to bring the scoreline back to 7 frames to 5. He's starting to make a match of it. Looked like Morris was going to run away and hide, but Jason Twist starting to peg him back. He trails by 2 frames now in this best of 17 quarterfinal.
13th frame. Jason Twist to break. Carl Morris leading 7 frames to 5. Open table.
The break has not been a friend to Jason Twist in this match.
Yes, but the balls have not come out too good. You've got a red over the top left-hand pocket, blocking the 2 yellows, and you've got 2 yellows blocking a red at the bottom pocket, the bottom left-hand pocket. He's elected the red, so he's going to roll the red over the pocket. If it stays there, no, it's foul. He needed that ball to stay.
Well, you can see he mouthed the words big pocket. Where he contacted that, I think he felt that should have stayed on the bed of the table and dangled over the corner pocket, protecting it. Now he's gained no momentum there at all, no initiative.
Now he's just going to bring the red into play, Jim.
30 seconds.
But all the yellows are open. They could be, you could pick them off. So by playing this shot, you're opening the 2 yellows up and giving Jason Twist a chance.
Yellow ball's in play.
Well, we've seen an awful lot of Jason Twist, certainly prior to this quarterfinal, and he has produced some sparkling clearances. Tougher ones than present themselves right now.
The question is, does the yellow pass the red into the bottom right?
Well, if it does, the reds are available, or sorry, the yellows are available. But the yellow that you're talking about certainly does go.
So what that means is, Jim, all the balls go. It's just a matter of positional play. There's 2 tough yellows at the top.
Yes, Lee, what he's going to have to do is try and come into this area just to the left of the yellows to be able to play them to the top right corner as we look. If he can get the cue ball into that area, leave himself an angle on one of the yellows, he might be able to dislodge both of them in one go.
Yeah, that's what Jason's looking at now. He's looking at rolling the yellow in and leaving himself just off straight into the top right-hand pocket and sending the white up. No, he's not got the angle. He's too far on the left-hand side.
Noticeable, though, that his potting is getting better. Much crisper. Much more confident action. Still a lot of work lay in front.
Yes, the red balls are better here, Jim. He's going to try and roll this over the middle pocket. No, he's elected to run behind it. Very good shot.
Well, he had to be careful just to contact it.
Total snooker.
Because a cushion has to be contacted after you hit the object ball. So he's just feathered the yellow going by it there and then nestled up in behind it. Totally legal.
See, Cole's got a couple options here. He doesn't have to hit a cushion after when he plays out the snooker. If he hits a red, he doesn't have to hit a cushion. The other option, he could just roll behind the yellow and make Jason Twist play from where the white is. Jason tried to break both yellows away from the top left-hand corner. He's only succeeded with one of them. Another chance for Cole.
We just had another look at the awkward bridge that Carl Morris employs. He doesn't loop the cue under the finger as most players do.
It's
but it's effective.
Still a couple of shots needed here. He's got the option to roll the red in the top left and take the red into the right centre. Or he could play the plant.
30 seconds.
Not exactly as intended. Wanted a finer clip on that to bring the cue ball away from the jaws of the pocket. Tougher pot than he would have liked. And so's this one.
Thank you, snooker Jim.
How the tables have turned here.
Cole's just asked if it's a total snooker.
Total snooker.
Yes, it is. That means he doesn't have to cushion if he escapes the snooker.
30 seconds.
There you can see it. No clear path to the red.
Foul. 2 visits.
The foul committed. 2 visits now to Jason Twist. It's all coming undone for Carl Morris.
It could have been worse, Jim. The white could have stayed at the bottom area of the table. Surprised that
Second
Jason
visit.
thought he would have took the long pot on.
Well, he can't afford to miss now. He's on his second visit.
Well, ideally, he'd like the bottom yellow to go into the bottom left. He may elect to take the top one, though. Yes, because he took the top yellow, it was ordered to get position. I think a little snooker behind the yellow again.
Another look at the pot. Well struck. But once again, trying to extract a foul to give himself 2 opportunities to clear the remaining 3 yellows and 8 ball. And you look in the dictionary under total snooker, and that's the picture that you get. Two cushions.
Yes, he's got it.
Definitely bought himself a little more time. Kept the pressure on Jason.
Yes, played it very well. Difficult shot, that one, Jim. Excellent shot. Well, I don't think that's a good shot. If he can't pot it in the top right-hand corner, he could always get the white up the top left-hand corner and leave Jason Twist no shot. I think he's trying to come off the cushion and pop the red into the top left. Don't think it was the right choice of shot. If he would have left the white where the reds landed now, it would have asked a question of Jason Twist.
Good yellow. One more simple one. And this 8 to the left center to bring the scoreline to 7-6. Confirmation, the 8 down. Jason Twist has pulled another one back. He really is making a battle of this quarterfinal. It's a best of 17. He trails Carl Morris by 1 frame at 7-6. And a very warm welcome back to the Stackus Hotel here in Blackpool for more action in the Embassy Whirlpool Championships. Well, let's take you back to the studio for some thoughts from Alan and Jonathan.
Thank you, Jim. Well, in the game, Carl Morris is known as the Houdini, but it looks as though the keys have been stolen by Jason Twist tonight. Jason, really, well, we said it on the 10th frame, 7-3 down. We didn't think he could come back, did we?
Well, he's dug his heels in, hasn't he? He was 7-3 down. Normally, he just goes for game all the time. Suddenly, we saw him playing a couple of careful shots, 7-4, 7-5, and now 7-6, back in the melting pot.
Did he physically change his game as far as you're concerned?
Well, I don't think he had much choice. Cole was winning the game so easily, and he had to do something, and he didn't have the chances, but he has noticeably been more careful now.
All right, well, it's all to play for once again. Let's go back to the action.
And Carl Morris now has seen a 4-frame lead dissipate to the 1-frame advantage he now enjoys.
Open table.
Check your nerve at the door. We're looking at what might well be a photo finish here, Lee.
Yes, and you'd fancy Jason if he went all the way. A little bit more experience. Coming back from 7-4 down. Tough bottom to the middle. He's played the plant.
Open table.
Another careless shot by Jason.
Well, the reason that Jason got himself into so much trouble earlier on, as we again see the missed plant, was poor decisions. Is it going to be a poor decision here? I might see his run of 3 consecutive frame victories end.
Yellow ball's in play.
That's the beauty of having a nice lead. You can weather a storm and still come out on top.
Yes, they're all here, Jim. All the balls there for the taking. Just a matter of Cole composing himself.
Well, the sequence of shots here seems pretty clear. He's going to want to leave the yellow next to the black as his last one. Softly screw back to leave the yellow in the center of the table to the bottom right, and that will leave the yellow just above the red to the bottom left. Never miss a shot from the commentary box.
He's played that one well though, Jim. A soft screw back. To take the yellow into the bottom left-hand pocket.
Clinical finish from Carl Morris here. Stops the rot and takes him to requiring only 1 frame for a place in the semi-final. Terrific performance just when it was most needed.
Yes, the last thing Jason wanted was Cole to get to the frame from home. Jason's got to win every frame now. His father there, relieved to see Cole win that frame with Jason coming back at him. The smile now on the Morris family. But Cole stays focused. One more, he's saying to himself. One more for a place in the semi-final.
Whereas Jason is saying 3 more. Just 3 more. He put 3 together just a short while ago. He needs to do that yet again
15
to see off the challenge of young Morris.
Jason Twist to break, trailing 6 frames to 8.
It's got to start with a good break. Frame 15.
Open table.
Yes, I think Carl will choose the Red Bulls here. It's a great opportunity to close a match out.
Jason Twist hoping that he's going to get another chance to get out of that seat.
Red Bulls in play.
Looks good, Jim.
Well, he controlled the cue ball to perfection in the last frame. He wants to do that very same thing here. This was the most difficult red.
Yeah, it's just a matter of composing himself now. Well, I expect Carl just to roll this in and take the black into the centre.
What a performance this has been from Carl Morris. Under the weather, he's just made Jason Twist sick.
It's
there. Carl Morris is seed off the favorite Jason Twist. The England team manager, Jim Morris, delighted with his son's performance here. A terrific one to be sure.
Yes.
Lee, you now know who you're going to be facing in the semi-finals.
And if he plays like that, Jim, I'm in for one hell of a match. That's his mum with him.
Well, this last 8-ball, he dove in behind it to see that it was there. And his dad's reaction says it all. And now for some closing thoughts from Jonathan and Alan, certainly on this match, and the enticement of the semi-finals to come.
So, 21-year-old Carl Morris joins the elite of the semi-finals, and I can see by the reaction of all the family there, he's delighted, and so too are the family. Alan, I think that's as you expected, but what a way to do it too.
Yes, that was the match of the day, wasn't it? It had everything. If Jason had took another frame near the end, we could have been down to the wire. Carl's took the last 2, one mistake from Jason, and he's got to have a chance after playing like that.
I don't want to keep reiterating how young he is, but he is tender in age, but can he go all the way, do you think now?
Well, having seen that, I doubted whether he could play on the 8-foot table so well. He's learnt a lot from Bradford. He's played as well as anybody. He's not nervous, is he? He's enjoyed it. He's loving every minute, as you said earlier.
So the quarterfinals completed. Let's remind ourselves how they panned out. It all started with the world champion, Rob McKenna, defeating Philip Grundy.
Yes, well, it was all too much, really, for Philip Grundy. McKenna was at half power in the first half of the match. He played well at the end, but he wasn't really tested today.
Keith Brewer over Robert Brady, and then, of course, Lee Kendall up against Craig Reynolds, another close one.
Lee didn't play well today. He played well in the last 3 frames when he needed to. I'm sure he'll realise he'll have to play very well against Carl Morris.
And finally, as you saw there, Carl Morris going through emphatically against Jason Twist. Jason started well, but Carl Morris was the man on form. So then, this is how the semi-final lines up. It's the world champion, the captain of Wales, and 2-time winner of this title, the defending champion, up against the England captain, Keith Brewer. And then in the other one, Lee Kendall takes on Carl Morris, two Englishmen who know each other very, very well indeed. So, two cracking semi-finals. I have to ask you, Alan, who are you taking?
No neck on the block for me. The game between McKenna and Brewer, McKenna's going to be forcing the issue. Brewer's going to be trying to live off the mistakes. If McKenna gets the balls, he'll win. Brewer can get enough mistakes out of McKenna, he's a chance. In the second game, well, it's just going to be a battle royal. That match there could go either way. We've seen Carl play brilliantly in the match tonight, and Lee Kendall, we know what he's capable of.
Well, thanks, Alan. That's it from Blackpool, the home of the famous Golden Mile for now, and there's certainly a pot of gold in terms of prize money awaiting the winner of this competition to play for here in the World Championship. Until next time, goodbye.